from humble beginnings to learning from your failures to becoming a great success. What is your success story? Chip Baker, The Success Chronicles. What's your definition of success?
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles, and we have Coach Destiney Smith here with us. And the first question is, how do we know one another? How do we meet? You want to talk about that, or you want me to do that?
I can do that.
Okay.
So I was working in Brown ISD last year, and I came to Brown ISD. I was working in Waller before that, and I was working at high school. And I took this middle school PE job, and I thought it was just going to be the best thing. And midway through, I found out that that was not what I wanted to do. So we were hosting a basketball tournament, and this guy comes walking in the gym with this Hearn gear on, and he looked like he was somebody. He looked like he was somebody. I can't remember like why I started talking to you. Like, do you remember why we started talking?
I don't.
Okay, so I started talking to him. I think I might have asked like if he worked there. He told me he's athletic director, and I was like, bam. I'm trying to go back to high school. Kind of told him what I was trying to do. Asked if he had any open positions, and we kind of just hit it off from there.
Yeah, it was good stuff. If you could just kind of talk to us about your life story, kind of where you're from, where you grew up until now.
Okay. So I am from a small town in East Texas called Dangerfield. It's a town where thoroughbred athletes are produced. Dangerfield is a really small town. It's a town where, everybody knows everybody. Just to kind of paint the picture a little bit, it's a population of about 2,500 people, so smaller than Hearn, surprisingly. Really small. The graduation rate there is less than 50%, so there are some successful people there, but there are a lot of people who unfortunately don't make it out. The median household income, which I didn't know, is roughly $18,000. If that kind of helps describe what kind of town that is. So I grew up in Dangerfield. My parents had me when they were young, so my grandparents, my aunt and her uncle, her husband, my uncle, they played a major part in my upbringing. In Dangerfield, like I said, everybody knows everybody. So my mom's mom lived on one street, and there was an alley that connected, and my dad's mom lives on the other street. So, growing up with my grandparents was something that I really enjoyed.
It's good to have that.
Yeah, always. So I grew up with them through middle school. High school, I moved to Dallas with my mom. Went to middle school in Dallas, and then we moved out to Garland. That's on the outskirts of Dallas. I went to high school in Garland, at Garland Naaman Forest. I was fortunate enough to run track at Naaman Forest. My track coach there was just phenomenal. My parents were not married, so he was a father figure to me. He still is to this day. Coach Baker, just a great, great guy.
Yeah.
So after Navy Forest, I was fortunate enough to go run track at Texas Lutheran. I met some great friends there. It was just crazy because I never thought like little old me would be able to graduate high school, go to college, and go to college almost free, you know, like
Right.
go to school and do something productive.
The things that you love to do, track,
Right.
you know, it allowed you and provided you a lot of things,
Right.
you know, sort of opportunities.
Right, right. And I'll say, like, I tell people and I tell, like, my athletes now, like, I didn't really like running track. It was just something that I was good at.
Right.
And because I grew up and I saw my mom struggle and I saw how my mom had to bust her butt to make sure me and my siblings had what we needed, I knew that I didn't want that pressure to be on her, the pressure of, okay, now my mom's got to, you know, do something extra to make sure that I can go to college. So I definitely took advantage of that. So I got to go to college and run track. There I met my husband, Anthony. I've been married for 4 years next month. Great, great guy. He is probably my biggest supporter. We have a son named Seth. Seth is 8 years old. And we're just a cool little team. Like, they are just my biggest supporters. I think if I probably said, like, you know me, so you know I'm always selling something. So I think
Yes.
if I probably said, like, you know, I'm going to sell sand, like, Seth would probably say, can I help? And my husband would probably be like, you know, like, I'm just going to call us, like, what we need to do. So they are definitely my biggest supporters. So met him there. Funny thing, I went to college to be a physical therapist. I wanted to be a physical therapist because my grandmother was in a fire. So my dad's mom was in a fire and she messed up her arm, so she had to learn how to, I mean, she couldn't drive, she had to learn how to do everything with the arm again. So, like I said, they played a huge part in my upbringing. So I was with her and I would go to these physical therapy sessions with her. So, you know, they're teaching her how to use her hand again. I'll never forget, there was this little girl, I'm not sure what happened, but she wasn't there every time we went, but she was there for most of the sessions that we were there. She was learning how to walk again. And like my grandmother was saying that, you know, like the doctors, they said, like, you know, she'll probably never walk again. So she's going through these physical therapy sessions and they're teaching her how to walk again. And on my grandmother's last day, she actually like got off the walker and she actually like took some steps. And I'll never forget, like, her parents, her mom was, everybody's clapping, everybody's cheering, and her mom was crying, and they were just so, you know, like so grateful that, you know, this girl is learning how to walk again. So that was something that I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to, you know, like give somebody that hope, like, yeah. So I wanted to do that. So I'm going to college and that's what I want to do. I ended up getting pregnant and I just knew that, I knew that it wasn't over, but I knew that I probably needed to take a different route. I knew that financially I wasn't going to be able to finish college 3 more years and then go to physical therapy school for 4 or 5 more years without working. So that's kind of how I transitioned to education. My dad is a teacher and a coach. My dad is a head coach, track coach in Tatum, small town in East Texas. And that was really some of my motivation to also go into the education world. I am the oldest of 4 siblings, 3 sisters, 1 brother. The youngest is 11. And then I have a brother that is a junior in high school. He'll be a junior this year. So I got some people looking up to me, so I'm trying to stay on the right path and do what I know is right just for the sake of them. What else? What am I missing?
And you're doing a good job at it too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So like I said, I started working in Waller, landed my first gig in Waller. I worked there, coaching. It was different. It was definitely a learning experience.
Right.
You know, like from the outside looking in, you think like, oh, this, you know, I can do that, I can do that.
Right.
But once you are not the athlete anymore.
Oh,
You're
it's
the
different
coach. Yeah, it's
on
a
the other
different
side,
world.
for sure.
Yeah, so it was different. It was a learning experience. Taught me a lot. So after that, I went to Bryan, worked there for a year. Taught me a lot. Middle school kids are different.
Yeah.
So it taught me a lot. And then I bumped into good old Chip Baker, and he gave me an opportunity, which I'm so grateful for. Gave me an opportunity to come to Hearn, and that's where I'll be starting my second year this coming school year. And it's just been, it's been good, it's been bad, but like anywhere else, I mean, that's how things go.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it. I know that in the process, I probably got on the nerves. I feel like I begged and begged and begged for this job. Like, I'm the type of person to where, like, if I see a job opening or something, like, I may not meet the criteria, like, on paper, but I feel like if you give me a chance to talk to you, like, I can talk my way into it. Like, I can, you know. So I felt like that was me. I felt like I just bugged them and bugged them and bugged them. And I said that. I said, you know, probably ain't even got no job openings for me, but I'm gonna bug this man until he gets tired of me. He says, let me give her a job. Cause, you know, like, she get on my nerves. So I think it worked.
Well, let me talk about that.
Okay.
You know, I think, you know, just like you said when we met, you know, at the tournament, at the game, I think the big thing to me was, you know, you were very presentable and professional, and you know, those things stuck out to me. And you know, I talked to you about this before, just the mentality of, hey, a hustler mentality.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to get it. You know, there's something that I'm interested in, and I'm just gonna go get it.
Yeah.
And I really thought that was pretty cool. And yes, I was gonna find you a job. You know, and so you know, we had openings, but if we didn't, we was gonna find you a job.
Yeah.
So I also thought that, you know, you'd be beneficial for the young ladies there to be around you, and with the experiences that you've had, like you explained, you know, some of the things that you've been blessed to do and experience. You know, those young ladies, I wanted to make sure that they were around good people. And I think that you're great people, and you know, positive role model for, you know, like you said, not just your family, but you know, those kids that you're blessed to be around as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
What are 3 things that you have accomplished that you're proud of?
I would definitely have to say graduating high school. Most people think that's whatever, but I would be the first person in my immediate family to graduate high school, so that was something that was extremely important to me. And like I said, coming from a small town in Dangerfield, a lot of people don't graduate high school, so that was something that was
big.
Yeah, that was really important to me. Like I said, my grandparents, like, they had a huge role in raising me. So my grandmother, that's something she would always say, you need to make sure you go to school and get your lesson. Make sure you get your lesson, because, you know, you get that education, and that's something that the people can't take from you. So that was something that that was really important to me. So graduating high school, and then going to college and actually graduating from college. Graduating from college was a huge milestone for me. Like I said, I was the first one to graduate from high school in my immediate family, first one to graduate from college in my immediate family. I remember my dad, like I said, my parents had me young. I remember, like, I have a picture, and when I graduated, my dad sent me this picture. I remember going to his college graduation. I might have been in like 1st or 2nd grade, but I remember I was that kid growing up that I was asked too many questions. You know those kids. I was that kid, but why? Where? You know, so I was that kid.
Why?
That's me, and that's my son today too. So I remember, like, my dad he went to Lamar, so I remember he was there, and my grandma was getting me ready. You know, she was saying, you know, we're gonna go to the graduation. So I'm like, what's graduation? Like, what is that? So, you know, she kind of explained it to me, and we went, and I remember, like, after my dad came across the stage, you know, he had me in his arms, and he had his diploma, and we took this picture. So, like, I remember that, and I feel like that was, like, my motivation. You know, it didn't stop him from doing what he needs to do, and he always explained to me that, you know, like, I did this for you to show you that, you know, it is possible. So, after I had my son, like, being able to let him see that, you know, it is possible, and being able to let other people see that, because, I mean, statistics have shown that, you know, that doesn't happen often. Most of the time, girls get pregnant, they drop out of school, and that's pretty much it. So that was something that was that I'm extremely proud of. And lastly, I have to say, my family, not really something that I've accomplished, but in a way it is.
Yeah.
Some people say like you're so young, like you got married so young, but that's something that I'm extremely proud of. I have a great son, I have a great husband, and I mean, we just getting it together. So that's something that I'm proud of also.
Good deal. What's your definition of success?
I think that everybody's definition is going to be different, of course.
Yeah.
I think for me, I am a goal setter, and I haven't always been like that, but I had to like scale it back because, you know, people remind me like, you're still young. You know, I think it's so easy to like look at other people and see like what they're doing and how they're progressing and say, you know, like, well, I'm not there, like, I'm not being successful because I'm not there, or I'm not doing this, or I'm not doing that. And that was something that I really did struggle with. And people have to tell me like you don't know, like what they've done to get there. Like you don't know, so you can't compare, you know, your level of success to theirs and think that you're not successful.
Because really at the end of the day, the competition is yourself.
Right.
You know, you want to strive to be better. Every day.
Right. I agree. So I definitely think that like through this whole process, and people have to tell me like, you know, like you're still young, but then I think like, am I young? Like I'm young in a sense, but to me, like there's so much opportunity out there, and I feel like I have so much potential, not to toot my own horn, but like there's so many things that I feel like I can achieve and I can do, like so much that I haven't even like tapped into yet.
Scratch the surface.
Yeah, I feel like that, and I'm just so hungry for success. So I started being a goal setter because I feel like when you start comparing like your life to other people's life, it's like basically comparing like their good to your bad. And like once I started looking at it like that, I was like, you know what? Like I am successful. Like look at the things that I have already like accomplished. So I start setting these goals, and if I meet that goal, then that's success to me. And it's not always like, oh, in 20 years I'm going to buy this nice expensive house. I set goals towards goals, like if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, short term, long term.
Yeah.
The steps.
Right.
There's levels to it.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I definitely have started like scaling it back and taking it a step at a time. And I feel like for anybody, like setting a goal, if you feel like I don't want to go to jail within the next year, if you don't do that, like you're successful.
Big
like
time.
you are successful if you feel
big.
like yeah, that is big. And I don't want to try to like compare or make it like any occupation is beneath another, but like if you want to be a, you know, like a trash man, and you know you want to be the top trash, like whatever you want to do, like as long as you are striving towards what you want to do and what you set out to do, then and you accomplish that, then that's success to me. I used to feel like success was all about money and material things, and I guess because I come from nothing, I felt like, you know, like having this and having that, like that makes you successful, but it doesn't, because at the end of the day, like, you know, we can have nice things, we can get nice things, but at the end of the day, like,
you can still be unhappy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's my definition of success.
I think, you know, just hearing you talk, I think at the end of the day, it kind of boils down to two things, like success, you know, service and personal growth. I think, you know, if you're in a situation where you feel like you've given, you know, your service to help others be better, then, you know, there's going to be personal growth. You know, and then you also have fulfillment. And then, you know, with the goal setting, as long as you feel like you're moving forward, then there's growth, and we can consider that as being success.
I think you summed it up pretty well.
That's pretty good. I was paying attention. I almost took some notes, but I was paying attention though.
Good.
What do you think it takes to achieve success?
For me, I think, or for anybody, I think it takes like self-motivation. Because I feel like you gotta want it. Like if you don't want it, it's not gonna happen. And funny thing is, I just got back from Miami, and when I flew back from Miami, I flew into Dallas, and I was with one of my good friends, and she's Nigerian. So we go to one of her cousins' something. So we go to her house, and she's going to a wedding, and she's getting this dress made for this wedding. So this girl, we walk in, and this girl, she says, this girl's gonna make the dress. I'm like, oh, she's a seamstress? She didn't look like a seamstress. How seamstress is supposed to look, I don't know. But she just didn't look like she was a seamstress.
Yeah,
So
you had a certain picture.
yeah, I did. So it's a younger girl. So
Okay.
I'm like, like she's making this for you? She's like, yeah. So we get to talking, and the girl says, like, this is gonna be the last thing I'm gonna make for you because I'm going back to Nigeria. So my friend's like, why? Like, you came here to, like, start this business, and like, this is what you wanted to do. Why are you going back to Nigeria? And she said, like, my market isn't here. Like, this isn't for me. I don't think, I've been here for a couple of months. This is just not working out for me. So she's talking. I'm they're talking. I don't know her, so I'm just listening. I'm just trying to stay out of it. So we go upstairs, and she starts to take her measurements. So she like has this display of like all these things that she's done. So I'm like, what do you mean your market is not here? Like you are good. So she's like, no, it's good, but it's not as good. I feel like I just need to go back to Nigeria. So we're convincing her that she needs to stay. And she says, well, people are telling me, like I should come back to Nigeria and do it because it's not gonna be good here. And I was like, forget what people are saying. Like, what do you want to do? And she was explaining how, she became a seamstress. She said she didn't want to do that. She wanted to be a nurse. But she sold something for somebody, and the lady's like, you can make lots of money. Like, you need to start doing this. So she was like, okay, I'm gonna start doing that. So I was like, it all boils down to like you and how bad you want it. And she said, I'm not making any money here, and I feel like in this day and age, like if you're broke, it's your fault. Like I definitely feel like that because like if you get on social media and you see like people are selling everything, like people are coming, from food to, people are doing like so much because that's how bad they want it. And people look at people and say, well, they're selling this or they're doing that. And I look at people like that and I think like dang, like they are really out here just getting it, like just trying to get it. So long story short, like the girl, like I was explaining to her, like, it boils down to how bad you want it. Like if you want to be here, and she's like, yeah, I want to be here. So I'm like, if this is what you want to do, like, this is what you got to do. Like, you got to get up out of this house. You got to stop thinking that, people are going to come to you. You got to stop thinking, like, you got to get out and you just got to make it happen. And, she was like, when I woke up, she said, I want to go back to Nigeria, but when I woke up today, I prayed that God like showed me a sign and showed me like what I needed to do and told me like if I need to stay here or if I need to go. And she was like, thank you. Like I think God sent you here to, like motivate me and tell me what to do.
It was a sign.
I know. And now she's like, what? Like I'm staying here. I think I'm gonna stay here and I'm going to just reach out and try to make something happen. So I think it all boils down to how bad you want it. Like you gotta want it. You gotta be willing to do whatever it takes to be successful.
It's good stuff. Well, before we started the interview, you were like, hey, I watched a couple of episodes, and you hit some people with some questions that was off the script. Hey, are you gonna do that to me? Or yes, I am.
That's fine. It's fine.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, good. I was gonna do it. So. You talked about your life story, where you're from, some of the challenges that you went through, your perspective on how and why you do what you do. If there's a young girl watching this, that was, same shoes as you growing up,
right.
What's a couple things that you would tell that young lady to, help her, get to where you are now and inspire her to let her know that she can do it as well?
It's funny that you asked me that.
That wasn't so bad.
I know. In her, and I feel like, and just with any job, I feel like when things get going, and everything is not going to be all peachy all the time, but
Right.
I feel like there are times, and that's with any job, that I feel like, man, like, is this where I'm supposed to be? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Like, do I want to be here? Do I not want to be here? I feel like I think back to like those kids, and I think that I'm enjoying her so much because I feel like I can relate to the kids there, because her is just like another Dangerfield, yeah.
That was me.
And I look at those kids and I see a little destiny, and I see,
Yeah.
you know, I see the potential that they have. And if I could give anybody some words of advice, I would definitely say that it's possible. And growing up, like I said, watching my mom struggle. I mean, my mom was just a go-getter. I think that's where I get that from.
Yeah.
I mean, from doing hair in the kitchen to, I mean, buying clothes and selling clothes and double the profit, to, I mean, just creating these gift baskets, selling them out of the trunk of the car, just getting it, like getting off work, just going to get it. Like,
there is no off.
Right. She showed me like if I got nothing else from her, like I saw that like anything is possible, and she did it. And I look back and I'm like, man, like how does she take care of us? Like, how does she take care of us like that? You know, like one income, like how was she able to do that? But anything is possible. Like those are words that I live by. Like, anything is possible. Don't become a product of your environment. Don't let, you know, just because, you know, people around me are doing this or people around me weren't able to do this, like, don't let that affect you. Like, use that for your motivation, because that's definitely what I've done. I've been able to, you know, like, turn my struggles and my pain and things that I've seen people go through, like, I've been able to say, that's not going to be me. Like, I don't care what I got to do. Right.
Yeah.
Like, that's not going to be me. So, if nothing else, know that anything is possible. It just depends on how bad you want it. Yeah, I think that's it.
Well, good. Well, thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to interview with the Success Chronicles, and some pretty good stuff that they can take and use to help. And thank you guys for watching this episode of the Success Chronicles. We'll see you next time. God bless.